Hey guys, I'm Suraj Ramkumar, your Utah DECA State President.
Hey there everyone, this is Jaron May, your 2017-2018 High School Division Executive President.
Today, Jaron and I are going to be teaching you guys some tips on how to compete in a DECA roleplay. Alright, so you're done preparing and you're ready to go in for your roleplay. The first thing that you have to consider is that first impressions are the number one thing in an introduction. This includes a strong handshake and crazy eye contact. When you go up there, you want to be looking right at your judge and you want to make sure you shake their hand in a very firm way. Next, you want to make sure that you have tons of enthusiasm when you open up your mouth. Make sure that you set up the situation by showing that you care about the presentation and that you know who you are and what you're presenting on. From anything from a travel roleplay to a marketing management roleplay.
Now, once you've given a great welcome, you've given a good handshake, you're smiling, you're enthusiastic, now this is when the meat of the presentation happens. Now, the judge is judging based on specific things in a rubric. They're looking for you to say specific items on that rubric, and one of those items are key performance indicators. Now, these indicators are written on your role play, so make sure that you find them and write them down on your notes page and then reference them directly in your role play presentation. That way the judge knows specifically what you were talking about and can check that off on their rubric. Another thing that the judge would love to see is visual aids. So whether this is a written event or role play, make sure that your visual aids are great. Take some time, draw out some diagrams, some graphs, some pictures to help your presentation. It'll really spruce it up. Now, the final thing, and I think this is the most important, is judge engagement. The judge will be sitting there for hours on end some days. So you need to make sure that you engage that judge. And it's as simple as asking a couple questions. So once in a while in your presentation, ask the judge, does that make sense? Do you have any questions? Or you can get specific project questions based on your project, and that will be even more special. But just in case the judge nods off or kind of doesn't pay attention for one part, you ask a question, and then if they have any questions, you can answer that and you can clear it up so that when you walk out of the role play or presentation, there are no questions left unanswered. But once you do all of that meat, you need a great closing, so I'm going to toss it back over to Suraj, who can tell you how to close out your presentation.
Thanks, Jaron. Now, once you've killed the middle of your roleplay and you've gone over all your key indicators, you have to make sure that you close your presentation by restating the purpose of everything you've gone over. This can include going over your key points and making sure that your judge understands why you're presenting and what you're presenting about. Next, you have to make sure to ask for questions. Every judge will always have 2 to 3 questions at the end of a role play to make sure they ask you. Now, if you're good at presenting, you've usually already gone over these questions, but they'll ask you just because they have to. This can be a great point to even further restate your purpose of your presentation and talk more about the things that make you unique. Lastly, you have to close the situation. Now, this can include giving them a business card that you've created, going along with visuals that Jaron talked about earlier, or even setting up time for a next meeting. That could be next week, next month, or even next year, depending on what your situation says. Doing these things can make you go above and beyond and show your judge that you deserve to be the winner.
If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either myself or Suraj, and we would love to answer them. Best of luck in your upcoming state conferences, and I hope to see you all in Atlanta, Georgia for ICDC 2018.